Double standards, they are the norm when it comes to the liberal media and their coverage of Republicans versus Democrats. The latest example comes courtesy of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez. Now, just days before the elections, a story broke in the Daily Caller linking the senator to a prostitute scandal. And then a month later, we got word that an arrest of a Menendez intern was delayed conveniently until after Menendez's re-election. Now, the intern, by the way, was an illegal immigrant and a registered sex offender. And then today, the FBI raided the office of a top Menendez donor who was allegedly involved in providing prostitutes to the senator. Well, apparently, none of this is worthy of media attention. That is, at least not if you're a Democrat. Now, tonight we have the cold, hard proof as we compared media coverage for Menendez's prostitution allegations to the scandals of disgraced Republican politicians Larry Craig and Mark Foley. But first, the Menendez office now has finally released an official statement regarding the FBI raid of the senator's donor, saying, quote, Dr. Melgen has been a friend and political supporter of Menendez for many years. Senator Menendez has traveled on Dr. Melgen's plane on 3 occasions, all of which have been paid for and reported appropriately. Any allegations of engaging with prostitutes are manufactured by a politically motivated right-wing blog and are false. Here to react to all of this, Democratic strategist Tara Dowdell and Republican strategist Noel Nickpour. Reaction.
Well, my reaction is that right now they're allegations and they should be treated as such. There's no evidence so far that he's done anything wrong. And I also want to add, as far as the double standards concerned, I think Anthony Weiner would disagree with you. I mean, he was raked over. Yes, he was raked over the coals, and he's a Democrat. Right. And there was wall-to-wall coverage of Anthony Weiner.
That's true, but that was a picture that he posted. What a dope! What a dope and arrogant one.
And he resigned, by the way.
Hang on a second. Let me ask you this question. Do you have any evidence that Larry Craig did anything wrong by toe tapping in a bathroom in an airport?
Sean, and Noel knows as well. Everybody in D.C. knew about Larry Craig and what Larry Craig's extracurricular activities.
Is there any evidence the toe tapping thing was real?
Oh, you know, everybody.
I don't know. I don't even know the guy.
I mean, maybe it's, what do you mean, maybe it's inside baseball, but people knew what he did in his spare time.
Let's put up on the screen here the Menendez prostitution. 0 stories in the major news network. None. That means CBS, NBC, ABC, right across the board. 5 newspaper headlines across the U.S., including local papers. Now let's go to the Larry Craig toe-tapping story, which you point out there's no evidence on.
No, I didn't say there was no evidence. He resigned. He didn't run again.
Okay, but he denied it. All right, I don't know what happened. I wasn't in the next stall. I have no idea.
Thank God.
All right, 107 TV stories across all the major networks, 105 newspaper headlines, as you can see, across the country. Mark Foley, 42 TV stories, all the major networks, 117 newspaper headlines across U.S. newspapers.
Well, you know what? I think that we're missing the bigger picture here, because we've got the media, which pretty much put this under the rug, but it's the IRS, everybody. I mean, how would you like to owe $11 million to the IRS and yet be on, let's just say, OpenSecrets.com? He, since 1998, donating to Schumer, Hillary's campaign, the Democratic Party of New Jersey. He has been donating since 1998 and been a top major donor for everyone to see, because all this is published. How would you like to owe that to the IRS, have a private plane going around, flying, senators around?
And he owes the IRS $11 million.
How do you get away with that? Because I can tell you right now, just me being on here and talking about whatever, I think the IRS would come after me, guns blazing. So I don't understand. I think the biggest deal is looking at not only the media that pushes it, but the IRS excusing it from doing it.
Let's ask Tara that question. So $11 million this guy owes the IRS. He has a private plane? He's taking a U.S. senator on his private plane, and he's not paying his tax bill. Is that an issue for you?
Now, that is an issue. And if this doctor did something wrong, he absolutely should be prosecuted. If Senator Menendez did something...
Doesn't that sound wrong to have a private plane and flying a senator around when you owe the IRS $11 million?
That doesn't like to pay taxes, so I don't know. You tell me.
If I didn't pay mine, I'd be perp walked and handcuffed.
But it's the IRS as well.
And that's why the guy's office was raided by the FBI. So obviously, he's not getting away with anything.
All right. Now, but I want to go back to the Larry Craig story, because you're telling me everybody knew. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Wait a minute. Listen, that sounds like I don't know. And you know what? Until somebody's proven guilty in a court of law. Wait a minute. We have the presumption of innocence. You're basically giving me a rumor. So what's the difference in this case maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the media decided to cover the toe tapping, but the media is not covering the guy that owes the IRS $11 million and is flying the senator around and is alleged to have a prostitute.
Sean, guess what? Who else has been flying on Dr. Melgen's plane? Because this guy has been going back and forth. So maybe they don't want, maybe the media doesn't want to touch it because he is a big and a very large donor to a lot of the Democrats.
I mean, can't you just be
in a lot of publications? But I wouldn't compare Menendez's story with Larry Craig.
Why not?
I think it's more because it's more akin. If the allegations are true, they're more akin to David Vitter, who's currently serving in Congress after a Republican, and he admitted to seeing prostitutes.
He did admit it.
He was all over the news.
He admitted it, but prostitution is illegal in the U.S.
But it was all over the news.
It was all over the news.
The difference is...
But prostitution is legal in the Dominican Republic if you're with a woman 16 or older.
Well, actually, it's legal in parts of the United States.
Well, guess what?
Right, but that wasn't the part where David Vitter was using
Tara,
and do you know that for sure?
Tara,
but he admitted it. He said he was using it.
Let me ask you, go back to this, the toe tapping. Why is it that, I'm sorry, I can't, because it's a double standard. I'm just trying to understand
this. No, it's because it's funny, and you're laughing, and you know the press, you like the media, you know the media likes anything salacious and sexy.
Well, they don't like, wait a minute, but they didn't like this one.
You're laughing.
You made my point.
You're laughing
right now. They didn't like this one.
This one isn't sexy enough yet. He may or may not have been with a legal prostitute.
All right, last
Tara, what I'd like to know, Tara, is if you say that prostitution is legal in the Dominican Republic, then why did Menendez stiff the prostitute? He didn't even pay her.
Well, if you're these are allegations. If he stiffed the prostitute, that's the bigger crime. No, I'm just joking. No, in all seriousness, I think that if he did something wrong, if he broke the law, I'll be the first one to come on this show and say, you know what, he broke the law and he needs to be punished.
I'm saying if they carry
if
the media carries the toe tapping, carry the story. Be consistent.
But be consistent and go off on David Vitter because he broke the law in this country.
They did. That's the point. You're making my point.
He got reelected by wide margins in Louisiana.
We're losing all control.